Okay, good afternoon. So welcome back. We're now on to part 2 of our smart camera build. And as you can see, we've got our camera set up and it's got me in the screen. And I'm very quickly going to show the fact it can do facial tracking. So if we put the face on here, as you can see, it's got a blue line around my face, and if I look straight at it, it's going to track it. So it's tracking your face. That was just something that was missing from yesterday. Sorry, I look like a scarecrow, but I'm old, what can I say? The other thing you can do with this, now what we've actually done is to set up the system so we have two Wi-Fi adapters in. One Wi-Fi adapter connecting to the EZB, and the other one connecting out onto the internet. So what that gives us is the ability to take pictures from the camera through the EZB out to Microsoft's cognitive services, and then bring them back with data. So without further ado, we'll quickly jump into taking a look at some of the extra controls we can add in, and all of these controls can be programmed. So I hate doing this one, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. This is facial detect, and if I click it, it's cognitive face. So I'm going to give it my best smile, and I'm going to hit detect. And what you'll see is over here on the right, it says that the cognitive face is attached to the camera. It's checking, it's found Paul Smith Keatley, so it knows who I am. It gives my age as 61, so it's correct. 41% neutral, 33% happy, 24% angry, and a tiny bit of disgust, contempt, sadness and surprise. So what it's actually done is take the red piece in here of my face and looked at that and determined what kind of mood I'm in. So it's looking at my emotions. You can just do an emotional sentiment on its own, where it will just look at emotions. It won't try and guess an age or anything like that. There are ways of doing other things with Microsoft, like one of the earlier things that the emotional services, cognitive services were doing was to look at people and determine what kind of dog it thought they were, which was kind of a cool thing. So what else can it do? Well, I'm going to go from the cognitive face setup to something called cognitive vision. And cognitive vision allows you to actually look at an image, and the image will go to Microsoft, and Microsoft will, the Microsoft AI will look at it and tell you what it sees. So I'm just going to hit describe on there, and it's attached to the camera, it's sent through, and it says it's a person in a car, and it gives you a confidence rating. Now most AI does this just so that you can tell how good a guess it thinks it is. Now by saying that that was 81% certain as a person in the car, you can actually see here on the image that there is actually a person in the car. Obviously it is a car, so it's pretty accurate. So we're going to try some other stuff, and because of this darn virus we can't actually go out and do stuff outside, so we're making do with what I can find, local reading stock. So I'm going to click on this one, see what this says, and it says it's a close-up of a blue table, 30% certainty. Now we've got some reflection on there, so it's kind of hard to cope with the reflection. and move it a bit closer so we take up more of the screen and more of the image. And now we're going to look, and it's 73% confident that it's a squirrel on the ground. So in other words, we were able to increase the confidence that it had simply by obviously filling the image. And I don't know if anybody knows this guy. I'm going to give it a go and see what it says. And this says it's 74% confident that that is Jeremy Clarkson looking at the camera. So we've got two things there. One is it's figured out it's a celebrity, and it's figured out who it is, so it's Jeremy Clarkson. And the second part is it's figured out that Jeremy Clarkson is looking at the camera. So every single thing that comes from Easy Robot, from the basic dev kit like this all the way up to the big humanoid guy, has this camera capability built in. And because the camera capability is built in, it then has access to the cognitive services if it's set up, and it has AI capabilities. So you can make a robot that's capable of telling you what's in its surroundings. And you can see on here that it does generate variables. It generates a detected scene variable called vision description, and vision description basically will hold that piece that says Jeremy Clarkson looking at the camera, and the confidence is 74%. Now what we'll do in an upcoming episode is to take a look at how we can program those in our scripting language so that we can not just have it look at Jeremy Clarkson or a squirrel or a car and put on the screen what it is, but the EasyB has the ability to do text to speech, so we can actually build up phrases. So we will have it look at a scene and describe that to us using using audio. And just to give you a brief input on that, if we go back to, let me close that, if we go back here, and this is going to be for our next episode, we have Blockly, which will allow us to do things like wait for a face, if it sees a face, then say on the EasyB, which is obviously our controller, hello world, or we could say hello whoever. We can create our variables in here. We can pull variables from the camera, from the AI feed, from the cognitive services, and bring those variables in here and have it speak those variables. What you saw as well was the JavaScript for this. So not only can you program it nice and simply in either Blockly or Scratch, but you also have the ability to program in JavaScript, so you can do things that are a lot more advanced. And on that note, I will switch back to our screen that we've been working with, and we'll say farewell for today, and we'll bring you more exciting stuff tomorrow, hopefully.